the thing is, too, there's a number of guys who are learning what consent is and don't know, but I think there's a number of guys who know and understand what consent is. Especially in this day and age, I think more young men are exposed to on a surface level, conversations of what it is, right? And they know it's a huge problem. And they know the vast majority of survivors tell the truth. The problem is they just don't care.
So true.
Right? Like you think of the, and forgive me, I'm forgetting the woman who testified against the Supreme Court judge in the States.
Oh my
Brett,
gosh, yeah, Christine Blasey Ford.
boom, yes,
Yeah,
against Brett Kavanaugh, right?
yeah,
And I remember the shot of a row of old white men in suits that were listening to her testimony. And that was when it just echoed in my head. They all know the truth. They just don't care.
exactly. Yeah,
And it's that this protection is not just institutions, it's our families and communities. Like you think of the hockey culture, brick by brick, that hockey stadium is all these voices that are holding truths, right? That's how it keeps us up sustained. It's like, as you mentioned, shout out the survivors who are brave enough to share their stories. But for every story that we hear, how many we don't hear?
yeah.
And regardless, it's like we know, we just don't care. That's the kind of the state that we're in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have, it's not really a question, but just thoughts around that, all that, because it's,
I just like really appreciate that like analysis and the explicit naming of, because I think so often these things get treated as debatable and it's people debating the alleged facts of a case because they want the objective truth when in reality they do not care. Like,
yeah,
and I think that felt really, really evident in this trial. And I bring it up a lot in my scholarship and in my community work because I just think it was so formative and so relevant. But I think about like the Depp Heard defamation trial, and there were lots of facts in that case, and people did not care. They cared about protecting, preserving, uplifting a white man who caused harm. Like that is explicitly what it was about. And this case felt like it had a lot of similarities. And I wrote a little bit about it when the Depp Heard trial happened, and I just kept returning to those reflections during this trial because I felt like there was such parasociality among people who were projecting traits onto these five men that they did not know. And
yeah,
as you were kind of alluding to, it felt like it was much more of an indictment of their complicity and their personal feelings about times where they did not step in, or where they were not sure about consent, or they were enacting power and control in icky ways, or not stopping someone from doing that. So it felt like a real kind of mirror for like the broader community. This case I felt like was a bit of a microcosm for the kinds of dynamics that we need to be interrogating more widely. And yeah, I really struggle with when people pour over cases like this and try to find holes and try to find proof that EM was contradicting herself or lying, because I just think none of that is in good faith. And I think it really goes back to that thing that you were asserting, which is people know that gender-based and sexual violence are issues, and they don't care. And I think it's because it's so endemic to the state and the structures that we live in and benefit from. Oh my God, I'm getting so mad talking about it. But yeah.